This is a call to order. It is 6 p.m. on April 23rd, 2019. Welcome to MEA's 2019 annual membership meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of colors by the Colony High School Army Junior ROTC. The color guard is commanded by Cadet Command Sergeant Major Alex Johnson. The state flag is carried by Cadet Second Lieutenant Kayleen Plano. The right guard is Cadet Captain Nick Nagel. The left guard is Cadet First Lieutenant Seth Meyer. Present colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for our national anthem and invocation. Although the colors are gone, we're going to say it anyway. Excuse me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The invocation will now be offered by Member Billing and Account Services Specialist Jean Ewart.
Dear Lord, we meet today on behalf of our community to serve, to use our resources wisely, to represent all members of our cooperative fairly, and make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and the future and the needs of our membership and employees. May our efforts be blessed with insight, guided by understanding and wisdom as we seek to serve with respect for all. May our personal faiths give us strength to act honestly and well in all matters before us today and into the future. We thank you, Lord, for being our source of guidance today. Amen.
Please be seated, as you were. All right. Now, Mr. Tony Izzo will give you some general announcements.
Thank you all for being here. Pleased that you would be willing to spend part of your evening with us. I have a number of general announcements to make. First is food. In the room, there's an assortment of food available from local small businesses in our service area, and they include Becky's Kettle Corn in Wasilla, cookies from Turkey Red in Palmer, meat sticks from Matsu Meats in the Valley, sandwiches from the House of Bread in Wasilla, coffee from Alaska Artisan Coffee, and water from Alaska Glacier Water in Eklutna. Next up is emergency exits. Emergency exits are located along both sides of the room. In case of an emergency, please follow the closest and safest exit labeled with a lit sign above it, and I can see one over in that corner and one over in that corner. We have a no smoking ordinance. That means that there is a no smoking ordinance in effect. Sorry for the double negative. Smoking, including e-cigarettes, is not allowed in the building. We thank you in advance for your understanding. Should anybody need medical assistance, please ask an MEA employee or security, and you'll note that security guards, I'll note that security guards are EMT certified and can be found throughout the room, and MEA employees have MEA logo wear, and I see a number of those folks seated over here to my left, your right. Our Sergeant at Arms this evening is MEA Land Services Manager Manny Lopez. Manny, can you please wave your arm? I see Manny in the back. Thank you. We appreciate you keeping us all in line tonight. On member comments, at the end of the agenda, there will be an opportunity for you to provide comments to your board. Each member who speaks under member comments will be allotted a maximum of 3 minutes, and we look forward to hearing from you. The minutes of the 2018 meeting, for any member interested in reviewing those minutes of last year's annual membership meeting, before the approval appears on the agenda in a few minutes, copies are available at the information table over to my right. In terms of making a motion throughout the meeting of MEA's members, President Glines will be requesting motions and seconds to approve specific agenda items. Those motions can come from any member here tonight, so please feel free to participate. If you do make a motion or second a motion, please tell us your name and the town where your primary meter is located for the record. When asked to vote on a motion, members are asked to raise your voting cards that look like this to indicate your vote. Each member should have been given a card when you registered. Closing of registration. Registration officially closes at 6 p.m., so it is officially closed. Voting will close 5 minutes after the final candidate speaks. Prize drawings, always a highlight of the evening, are some door prizes. One of them you could not miss on the way in here is the Ford 250. Each member should have received a white ticket for a door prize when you registered, including for the truck. Those prizes will be drawn towards the end of the meeting. Cell phones, and because we all have been that person, I know I have, I'm reaching for mine now, just a reminder to avoid any disruptions in the meeting tonight. Please check them and put them into silent mode, please. Thank you. Questions. If you have questions or need assistance, please ask one of our employees who you will see around the building wearing the gray pullover with a white MEA logo. They'll be happy to assist you. And finally, I wanted to say thanks for joining us. It's great to see so many members, and we appreciate your participation in your cooperative. Thanks.
Are seated to my head table this evening is your board of directors. Please raise your hand. If you're like me in the front row, you can't even read something as big as the name tags up here, but so the board members will just raise their hand. Peter Burchell, Vice President, Director at Large. Bob Doyle, Secretary Treasurer, Director representing Susitna West District. And in alphabetical order, Kit Jones, Director at Large. Bill Kendig, Director representing the Susitna East District. Janet Kincaid, Director at Large. And Mark Masteller, Director representing the Matanuska District. MEA's Chief Executive Officer, Tony Izzo, and I am David Glines, Director representing Eagle River District and President. Seated below, to my left, your right, is Mr. Robin Brennan from the law firm Brenna Bell and Walker, serving as parliamentarian. Next to him is Dawn Baham, serving as recording secretary. Many other members of the Bylaw Committee, Election Committee, Scholarship Committee, and the MEA Charitable Foundation Board are here tonight. Their names are listed on the back of your agenda, and we thank them for volunteering their time, talents to serve their cooperative and each of you. If you serve on one of MEA's committees, please stand by to be recognized. To be recognized, please stand if you serve on any of those committees. All right, thank you. The next item on the business agenda is approval of agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda? As Tony mentioned, if you are offering a motion for approval or a second, please speak your name. Go ahead. If there is a motion to approve. And your name is? Kelly Sidebottom. Is there a second? Sue Smith, seconds. Okay, thank you. The motion is to approve the agenda. Those in favor, raise your voting cards. Those opposed, raise your voting cards. All right, the motion is carried. All right, a certification of the quorum. Next on the agenda, a quorum is present. There are 213 members here tonight registered for the meeting. We have a quorum. All right, now we have notice of the meeting. Secretary Treasurer Bob Doyle will now read the certification that notice of MEA's 2019 annual meeting was mailed to each member.
Dated at 8:03 Alaska on March 27th, 2019, I, Robert Doyle, Secretary Treasurer of the Matanuska Electric Association, Inc., certify that on the 27th day of March 2019, Board Vice President Peter Bursell delivered for the mailing to each member of the cooperative a notice of the annual meeting to all members of the cooperative, and the meeting to be held on the 23rd day of April 2019, 6 p.m. at the Curtis D. Menard Memorial Sports Center in Wasilla, by depositing such notice with postage prepaid addressed to the aforesaid in the United States mail, and that copy attached is true and correct copy of said notice.
All right, MEA's bylaws require a reading of draft minutes of the previous meeting of the members and the taking of necessary action thereon unless the members vote to dispense with such reading. Do I hear an official motion to dispense with the reading and to approve the 2018 annual membership meeting minutes as drafted? Is there a second? Okay, and your name, sir, the second? Mr. Anderson, thank you. All right. Are there any objections to the motion? Motion is approved. All right. Next on the agenda is a report of election procedures. Election overseer Crystal Stanley from Fosselman and Associates will now provide the membership a report of the 2019 election procedures. Crystal?
Good evening. I'm Crystal Stanley from Fosselman and Associates CPAs. We serve as MEA's independent election overseer. In fulfilling this role, we perform several procedures to maintain strict control over the paper ballots and the electronic voting. On March 20th, we received 51,000 blank ballots from Printworks. We verified the number of ballots received by weighing them and tested the sequencing of the candidates' names on samples of the ballots. The ballots were then turned over to the mailing house. On March 27th, we tested the election packages before they were mailed by counting the packages in a sample of the bins, counting the ballots, and estimating the amount to be mailed. We counted the notification cards to be mailed in total, and we also took possession of the rest of the blank ballots, which are locked up in our office. We were able to verify 49,498 ballots, and 2,201 notification cards were mailed and delivered to the post office. Starting April 2nd through April 22nd, our staff picked up ballots at the post office, oversaw the signature verification process, turned off electronic voting for the members who voted on paper, and transported the ballots to a locked closet at the Matanuska Valley Federal Credit Union headquarters. This morning, under dual control, we transported the ballots from MVFCU to the Curtis D. Menard Sports Center, where the counting of the paper ballots was performed and observed by the election committee. These ballots were then transported back to the credit union and locked up. This evening, any member who hasn't voted still has a chance to vote on a meeting day ballot. These votes will be tabulated tonight, added to the mailed-in ballots, and the electronic votes for the final results. I want to thank all the members that participated and the election committee for all of the hours that they volunteered. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Crystal. Next on the agenda is the election committee member report. The committee member Dan Tucker will now provide the election committee report.
Good evening. My name is Dan Tucker, and I represent, along with a few others, you on the election committee for MEA. The committee is a requirement of the MEA bylaws. We serve as member representatives to ensure that the MEA election is fair, transparent, and conducted according to the bylaws. This year, the committee focused on electronic balloting, trying to improve the online presence, making the transition to member identification through the Smart Hub process, instead of multiple pieces of mail was a major undertaking. It was our job to ensure the integrity of the committee and the process was maintained throughout the change and properly communicated to you in the process. If you have any suggestions on how we can better improve the system as a result of your experience this year, please pass them along to us. We'd love to have them. We also had our usual business to attend to, such as approving the election materials, confirming all the board candidates met the requirements that are necessary for their candidacy. We also helped the election overseer to verify signatures on the ballots. We ensure that the ballot counting is done properly and according to procedure, and we answer any questions that may come up in the process. I'm also in a unique position being both on the election committee and the bylaw committee, so I'm well versed in how carefully, completely, and well monitored the MEA election process is from the inception to the results. I assure you personally that your vote has been counted. It's been counted accurately, fairly, and singly. Little things like ensuring that no one candidate's name was always at the top of the rotation when it came up on the screen are some of the details that we look for during the process. We carefully made sure that there was fairness and an unbiased process, and made that one of our paramount efforts in the election. I and others have been working towards this wonderful and positive change in the process for over 10 years. The monetary savings of online voting versus paper balloting has amounted to tens of thousands of dollars in savings. It's been very beneficial for us. The committee is made up of members that are appointed by the board. Thank you. We happen to have a vacant seat on the committee right now, so if one of you is interested in helping out, we'd be happy to hear from you. Thank you for your participation and your cooperation, because we are more powerful together.
Thank you, Dan. Very good. Appreciate that. All right, next on the agenda is introduction of candidates and their speeches. There are 4 2019 board candidates running for 3 open at-large seats. We have 4 candidates running. In alphabetical order, they are Peter Burchell, incumbent; Janet Kincaid, incumbent; Kit Jones, incumbent; and Carrie Williams. Each candidate will have 3 minutes to address the membership. Any member who has not already sent in their paper ballot or electronically voted through SmartHub will have 5 minutes after the final candidate speaks to cast your ballot. So let's get started. The first candidate, oh, by the way, the candidates can go to the closest microphone that gets them there. So to get started, Peter, please join us at the podium, which you already are, so go right ahead.
Well, thank you. This is my last campaign speech. I'm going to term out. My wife is happy. Monday nights will be new. I want to thank you, the members of MEA. We had a real rocky beginning. We used to buy our power from Chugach Electric, and they treated us like the stepchild they didn't wish they had. We worked together to, in fact, build the Chugach facility, the EGS plant, so we could provide safe, reliable power to all of you. You have the most professional board sitting up at these tables that I've had the pleasure to work with, and I've worked on 9 different nonprofits in the Valley. They're punctual, they think, they work together. We agree to disagree, but do it agreeably. And some of you know me personally, sometimes that's very hard for me to do. Sometimes I appear to be very opinionated, and I am. That's why I'm so proud of what's happened. The earthquake, what a great event. We had thousands of customers without power. And they're not customers, they're members, they're our neighbors. And our staff, our crew, Tony on down, went to work and restored the power, 2 substations out, over 40,000 members out. And it was restored to 90% of them within 36 hours. If that would have happened 20 years ago, and a lot of you out there have the same color hairdo I do, the white hairs will tell you when the power went out 25 years ago, it was like get out the generator because we are in trouble. All that meat in the freezer, we've got to do something. That's not the way it is anymore.
Peter, we're down to 30 seconds now.
30 seconds. Well, I hate this part. I want to thank Kit and Janet. We've run together. We represent the short people of Alaska. We walk quietly and we carry a little tiny stick. And I would appreciate your support in this election, and my wife will be very happy when this 4 years is over. Thank you so much for your continued support, and you have no problem calling me, I know, because 3 o'clock in the morning, you always know my number, even if I don't want to answer the phone. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Peter. Our second candidate is Janet Kincaid.
Thank you, David. I don't think I need 3 minutes. I see family and friends out here, and I think I know most of you. I've been around a long time. Like Peter, this will be my last term. We're terming out. And I chose to run again because we have a very smooth routing operation. I'm really pleased. One of the things we have out here on display is some of our new equipment. Our linemen have much safer equipment now than they did when I first came on the board. So I'm really proud of that. I'm proud of what we've accomplished. I'm proud of our new EGS plant. Most of all, I'm proud of the staff. We have an excellent system from the very beginning, from the lowest guy to the top guy. It's a wonderful operation. And I appreciate all of you for coming and hearing us. And I hope that you voted for me. I don't see a huge rush to the ballot boxes after our little speeches. So thank you very much. I have enjoyed serving you, and it's been my honor.
Thank you, Janet. The next candidate, the third candidate, is Kit Jones.
Hi there. Well, a couple of days ago, I had some downtime, so I picked up a magazine to just thumb through. July 2016 of The Last Frontier. The Last Frontier is a great magazine, even when there are old issues. And I came across a quote. It was actually in an MEA ad by one of our members, Richard Estelle. And I wanted to read it to you because it made me do a lot of thinking. In 1948, when we moved over onto the old Bailey place, it was great because we had it all. We had electricity and we had running water. We sat around all day waiting for it to get dark so that we could turn on that one light bulb. Well, having electricity really meant a lot to us, and it really changed the way we did things. Well, I started thinking about Mr. Estelle's quote, and I thought, aren't we all really, really lucky to have electricity whenever we want it? And aren't we lucky to have a co-op like MEA to provide that for us? And, you know, we have a wonderful management team. We have wonderful, dedicated, hard workers. And as Peter said, you could see that through what happened after the earthquake. I want to continue to be a part of that team and to continue to make MEA better and better for all of us because we're the member owners. I think probably most of you have voted, and I'm glad you're here. But if you haven't voted, I'd sure hope you'd vote for me. So thank you.
Thank you, Kit. Our final candidate is Carrie Williams.
Thank you, David. Hi, everyone. I'm Kerry. A couple of months ago, MEA conducted a survey asking if you wanted more clean energy. About 70% of you said yes, or the ones who answered the survey anyway. Surprisingly, 33% said only if it didn't raise costs, but oddly, 24% of our members didn't want renewables on our grid, even at no extra cost. What the survey didn't ask was how many of you would want more renewable energy if it lowered costs. Here in the Valley, we have nearly the highest cost of energy, of electricity in the nation, and the best renewable potential in the nation. So I think that's a better question. So I ask you now, would anyone here object to going 100% renewable on our grid if it was every bit as reliable as MEA is now, and if it would reduce your monthly bills by $20 or $40 or $60 a month? Please raise your hand if you don't want to save $20 or $60 to $60 a month. That's kind of what I expected. I ask because with tumbling renewable energy costs, new technologies, and a rapidly advancing understanding of how to convert, we can do that now. We can cut 20 to 60 bucks off of our bills. And I ask because whether or not I'm elected to the board this time around, I want you to hold our board members' feet to the fire. Let us know in no uncertain terms that you don't want to pay one of the highest costs of electricity in the nation anymore. We can change that. Insist on it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kerry. Now it's time for my report with MEA. So Chief Executive Officer Tony Izzo. Tony, will you join me at the podium? Hello, everyone. It's humbling for me to stand up here before you and look at this sea of member faces. This group represents our neighbors, our small business owners, our volunteers, and the heart of what keeps our electric cooperative and community going. In this country's past, the word cooperative was synonymous with rural development, and cooperatives grew our nation's heartland. It's what inspired a group of 200 farmers and homesteaders back in 1940 to bind together to form MEA with a vision to support the community and make life a little easier. Today, people are less aware of why being a part of a member-driven, not-for-profit cooperative is important. But this is the group that understands that value and the integral role each member plays in making it successful. You took time out of your busy lives to come participate tonight, and on behalf of the rest of the board, I want to thank each of you for being here. Electricity is the foundation of our daily lives. It is a platform for economic development and vitality, and a source of comfort, safety, and connection for our members. As a cooperative performing this essential service for our community, it takes participation from our members to make it happen. As a board, we spend a lot of time thinking about our members and your value to the success of this cooperative. One of my favorite things about the annual meeting is the ability to come out of the boardroom and greet you face to face to talk about what brings us all together.
Well, thank you again and good night. I'm pleased to see you all here tonight. I want to make one quick announcement that the members now have 5 minutes to cast any final ballots. And please join me in thanking the 4 candidates for being willing to serve the cooperative and your community. Thank you. So this is the part where we give you a presentation, essentially the status of the business. But while we're doing this, those votes are being counted. We want to make the most of that time. The word member is used countless times a day at MEA. During a time of innovation and change for our industry, the economic uncertainty of our state, our members are what keep us grounded. We have just under 200 employees at MEA. They come to work each and every day to serve you. They are the people that you speak to on the phones when you need us. They're the linemen that answer the late night call when power is out. and the engineering and operations team that keeps the system humming behind the scene. There are the power plant operators that ensure power is available day and night, and even our information technology, or we like to say IT folks, that stay vigilant against cyber attacks. They are our accounting team that ticks and ties every penny earned and spent to ensure we are the best stewards of your resources. It takes a dedicated and diverse and competent group of individuals to make sure that that switch on the wall turns on the light and our freezers stay cold. They come to work focused on you, and I couldn't be more proud of the effort they put in and all they accomplish. 2018 was a year of progress and improvements for the cooperative. We're not perfect, but it was a year of improvements, and it's what we aspire to be. In this presentation, we're going to highlight the people that make us great, and that is our employees, most of whom are members just like each of you.
Last year during the annual meeting, we highlighted our goals for 2018. These goals represented our commitments to you, our members, and we will use those goals as a scorecard during this presentation to let you know where we've made improvements and where we still have work to do.
Talk about reliability. From a recent member survey, it is clear that your #1 priority is reliability. The first commitment we made to each of you last year was maintaining our focus on improving reliability, specifically developing a process to prioritize our needs into a 5-year capital spending plan. The board approved this plan last summer, and it includes projects to harden our system against threats, upgrade lines and substations to catch up with the growth in our service territory, and to reduce the number and length of power interruptions. For us, it's all about building a resilient and capable system, but always firmly grounded in the impact to each of you. As our revenues and costs fluctuate, this plan needs to be adjusted. And for example, or for instance, this unseasonably warm winter was a relief to many of us, although it kind of has made a reappearance in the last few weeks. But it negatively impacts revenues. And we know that we'll just have to adjust our spending accordingly. MEA has also completed several projects in 2018. We increased the size of our lines in areas of Wasilla and Palmer to account for growth. We replaced aging equipment throughout the service territory and installed new equipment that allows us to better isolate outages and reduce the number of members impacted. And we've also upgraded equipment in our more remote areas to allow some fixes to be done remotely, right from our dispatch center in Palmer, which reduces the time it takes to turn the lights back on.
Clearing. One of the most important things we can do to reduce outages is keep trees out of the lines. Our clearing crew and their contractors exceeded our commitment to you in 2018, staying ahead of targets and keeping us on track to complete our first 7-year clearing cycle this year. What that means to each of you is that the vegetation in all 4,300 miles of our easements will be trimmed and mowed every 7 years, reducing outages and costs. This first cycle was a heavy lift as we reclaimed our easements and took down significant vegetation. It will be a smoother sailing from here on, and our thanks to work of your hardworking staff, thanks to the work of our hardworking staff like Matt in this picture, and Anthony and Ray at the table in the back. The clearing team is stepping up to address another threat to our system, the spruce bark beetle. In the northern sections of our service territory, the impact is significant. The crew increased their focus on danger trees and removed an impressive 659 hazards to our system this year. We have also started a program focusing on increasing hazards in the Talkeetna and Trapper Creek area.
Always tied for first as a priority from members. I mentioned reliability was right up there in our survey, but really tied with that is the cost of your electricity. I think you all know that as well as I. Last year we committed to take several actions to reduce your costs. The first big action was negotiating a new gas contract, and this is the natural gas that goes to our power generating station, or as mentioned earlier, EGS. At MEA, and really most of the utilities in the rail belt, the cost of fuel makes up 40% of your bill. So reducing that can make a significant difference. We scored a big win this year. We renegotiated an existing contract and extended it by another 5 years with our gas supplier, Hillcorp. This amended contract ensures a gas supply well into 2028, and it will save our members an estimated $11 to $12 million over the next 4 years. We also committed to streamlining our processes to reduce costs as well as save time and frustration for employees and members. I'm proud of our employees' commitment to this goal. We've developed cross-departmental teams, and we've enlisted the help of our software provider to better use technology to eliminate wasted time and resources throughout the organization. And we still have progress to make on this goal, and we're committed to staying on course. One way that we measure how we're doing on internal efficiency is to look at some common industry standards regarding ourselves compared to other employees. And one of those numbers is the number of meters per employee, which helps us understand the ratio of employees to points of service. So what this slide demonstrates is that MEA has a ratio of 354 meters, or points of service, per employee, 354. Our neighboring utilities have 272 and 155 meters per employee, despite serving more dense service area. This is just an indication in terms of how efficient we are, even though we serve a territory that's much larger in size.
Another commitment we made to you last year was to stabilize rates. With the cost of almost everything going up from fuel to health insurance and materials, it is unlikely we will see significant rate reductions anytime soon. However, it is our board's commitment to reduce the impact these cost escalations have on your bill. I'm proud to say that our typical members saw a rate reduction from the fourth quarter of 2017 to the fourth quarter of 2018. Now, mind you, it was a modest reduction, but a significant achievement considering the rising costs and loss in revenue due to warmer weather and conservation. It is a story being told across Alaska right now. Here are some figures that show how we compare to our neighboring utilities. You can see MEA has the second lowest rates on our interconnected system. The figure we are most proud of is in that red circle that shows we have the lowest base rates. Base rates are the part of your bill that covers the infrastructure, people, and miscellaneous costs it takes to deliver your power. The fact that ours is the lowest in the region, despite serving less dense service territory, is another measure of our efficiency and a sign your cooperative is going the extra mile for each of you.
Another big win for members is the progress we made in using technology to improve service. Probably our biggest achievement this year was completing the installation of our new meters. We now have these meters 100% deployed through our service area, and they're being used as we speak to reduce the cost of understanding your energy use. We're also using them to improve outage management and system reliability, and the data is even helping us catch meter tampering and power theft. We use the meters to help some of our larger members better understand and manage their energy use. This year, we partnered with the Matsuboro School District on a building monitoring program that is helping them reduce costs during this very critical budget time. That information is not just reserved for the big players on our system. Every member can now enjoy the additional information these meters provide to help you make informed energy choices through your online member resource, Smart Hub, where you can also pay your bills and report outages. Our team is still focused on better utilizing technology to expand our members' choices to communicate with us. In member surveys, we hear you would like to use more options, such as text and email, to provide you with information. Expanding these choices is a high priority for 2019. Stay tuned for more information on that one. In 2018, we made progress in making e-voting easier through Smart Hub, and we also worked hard at improving one of our oldest communications, and that is creating a new paper bill design that we believe makes your monthly reminder from us more straightforward to understand.
Another commitment we made to our members in 2018 is to look towards more innovative solutions to produce and deliver your power. One of our biggest areas of progress in this arena was the increase in our renewable energy portfolio to 12%. That improvement came from several projects. First, we worked with our neighboring utilities to accept wind power when their systems are unable to, and our members now enjoy power from the two biggest wind farms in the state, Fire Island and Eva Creek. We worked with a new independent power producer, Renewable IPP, to bring the first privately owned solar farm to the rail belt grid. Our net metering program that allows members to produce their own renewable energy is one of the fastest growing in the state. We also made progress on several projects that will increase renewable power in the future, including an expansion of the Bradley Lake Hydro Project and actively working with the municipality of Anchorage to increase MEA's share of the Eklutna Hydro Project in connection with the sale of MLMP to Chugach Electric. This is a growing area of interest for your cooperative and our members, and we will continue to investigate innovative and cost-effective power options.
In 2018, we also maintained our commitment to working with our neighboring utilities to reduce costs, improve reliability of our system. As an MEA member, you are part of an interconnected system that we call the Rail Belt, and it stretches from Fairbanks down to Homer and is served by a total of 6 public power utilities. These 6 utilities have been working together over the past few years to coordinate our transmission system and power plants to reduce costs and improve reliability of the system. The group of utilities have been working on this since 2015, and a recent Regulatory Commission of Alaska analysis demonstrated the progress we made working together, reducing the cost to make your power in 2018. Those achievements are part of what contributed to the recent rate reductions you saw this year. There's more work to do here, and formalizing a contract to maintain this progress will resume after the sale of municipal light and power to Chugach Electric is completed.
The second thing we are working on is region-wide reliability standards and planning for the system. When you hear reliability, just think redundancy. More redundancy means your lights stay on more often. But redundancy costs money, and the benefits of adding more redundancy doesn't always outweigh the costs. The utilities are working on an organization that allows us to jointly manage the level of redundancy on the system, as well as conduct system planning with non-utility stakeholders to make sure a variety of voices are heard.
Finally, we've been working on ways to better manage the transmission system that connects us from Fairbanks to Homer. MEA is conducting due diligence on a plan recently filed with the RCA by a for-profit entity from Wisconsin, along with a few of the Rail Belt utilities. We believe there needs to be a way to manage the system that can be improved, but we are flatly opposed to the current plan, which would result in significant unnecessary increases in cost to our members. MEA is working to develop an alternative that is right-sized and better connected to the needs of consumers throughout the system.
The final commitment we made to each of you is to maintain our focus on operational efficiency. While there are many examples of improvements, probably the best example of operational efficiency is our EGS power plant. The plant is running more efficiently than anticipated. Over the past year, we've completed our regularly scheduled engine overhauls on time and under budget at a significant savings to members. The plant's emissions are also lower than anticipated, underscoring its efficiency. Because of those low emissions, we are not only are keeping the air quality better for our service territory, but we were also able to reduce the cost of our permit, saving $30,000 in permit costs.
Our member service team also continues to improve their efficiency. MEA's collections team has made big strides in reducing the amount of bad debt our members have to absorb. In addition, we've reduced the average length of time our members wait on the phone for the 4th straight year, and we're now down to an average, down an additional 47% to an average of 19 seconds.
Another reflection of efficiency on our scorecard is our financial health, and I'm particularly proud of the financial strength of this cooperative. One key metric for the board is our equity asset percentage. In 2015, after building the power plant, our equity was at 19%. Your board recognized the need to focus on improving that to meet our lenders' expectations, as well as ensure we are ready to take advantage of future opportunities. In 2018, we exceeded our equity goals for the third year in a row, ending the year at 24%. The board's equity management plan is grounded in achieving 30% equity by 2024, and we are well on our way to making that goal. I'm very pleased that we were able to achieve those results while keeping our typical members' overall rates level. Another significant achievement of the year was the return of capital credit payouts. We paid out $1.3 million to our members in 2018. It was the first general retirement since 2014, and another example of our financial strength.
Here is a closer look at our financials, and I would be willing to bet that no one can read that. I'm looking down at the screen here, so I'll just give it a shot. Please bear with us. So looking at the balance sheet, you can see, well, if you were closer, you could see our total assets ended the year just under $637,900,000. This is about $5.9 million lower than 2017. Changes in total assets are primarily a reflection of what we were building on the system versus depreciation. On the other side of the balance sheet, our long-term debt is the lion's share of the offsetting equities and liabilities, finishing the year at just over $449 million. This is a reduction of approximately $8.5 million from 2017. Conversely, our equities and margins have increased over $6.5 million, up to $154.6 million. Our current liabilities have also decreased by just over $2 million and are down to $26 million. Our financial statement shows our operating revenues at just over $148.6 million, pretty much even with 2017. Slight upticks in the cost of fuel and operating expenses. Our operating margins were reduced about $3 million to approximately $5.7 million, and our ending patronage capital was $150 million, which is approximately $6.6 million over last year.
Now, looking at this slide of where the percentage of each revenue dollar comes from, you can see residential sales are the majority of our kilowatt hours sold. While commercial sales saw a very modest increase, there is significant opportunity in attracting commercial loads to the area to offset some of the cost burden to our residential members, as they are able to do in other areas of the state. I think this is one of the more important charts because it helps our members see where their money is being spent. Here's a percentage breakout of each expense dollar. You can see the largest by far is the cost of fuel and purchased power, with almost 40% of our expenses a direct pass-through to our gas provider and other power generators. This went up almost a full percentage point from last year. Depreciation and interest expense were the next heavy lifts. As anticipated, depreciation saw a slight uptick, while long-term debt interest decreased by about 0.5%. Maintenance and operation of lines, as well as power production expenses, are the next categories, and almost exactly the same percentages as in 2017. We want to ensure these costs are reasonable and stable in our expense portfolio. But this is not a place that we want to skimp, since reliability is a priority for our members. Our administrative costs are once more towards the bottom of the list, with only 6 cents of every dollar being paid to support it. This is quite impressive for a not-for-profit and something we are always focused on keeping low. Margins at 5.4% are slightly lower than last year, due to, in large part, to lower sales levels. Margins at 5.4% are slightly lower than last year, due in large part to lower kilowatt-hour sales levels. As a not-for-profit cooperative, modest levels of margins like this, along with continued focus on controllable costs, are ways we are keeping rates conservative and well-aligned with the needs of the cooperative.
One thing that wasn't on last year's scorecard was the earthquake. Certainly not something we want to put on the calendar, but I think it bears a mention in this end-of-year recap, specifically to our response to the earthquake. I've worked almost 40 years in the utility industry, 7 of those at MEA, and I can't say enough how impressed I was by our team's response. Our first responders did what they do best. They respond to sudden, unexpected interruptions in power. And while this kind of problem we solve on a regular basis, the scope of this problem was certainly much larger than any other day at the office. We lost 16 of our 22 substations, and almost 75% of our 65,000 meters were without power. I'm very proud of the commitment of the team who put their own personal needs aside to focus on our members and the community. While one team was working at restoring the electrical backbone, we had another that was assessing our power plant. EGS rode through the event well. It was designed to withstand this kind of incident or even worse. When that many members lose power, the plant needs to adjust accordingly. MEA plant operators made sure our engines handled the sudden drop in electrical load, and we were able to stabilize and maintain the larger grid quickly in partnership with our neighboring utilities. We also had a team focusing on reaching out to each of you. Our goal was to ensure everyone received accurate information directly from us before rumors and frustration had a chance to take root. As I reflect, I remain very proud of our team and what they accomplished that day. That team includes our patient and supportive members, and I sincerely thank you. It was powerful to watch our community come together. As with most emergency events, we walked away with some lessons learned. Overall, our system did very well, but what keeps us focused now is defining what should MEA be working on to make sure that we're ready for the next surprise. Our members, all of you, we know rely on us for safety, comfort, commerce, and connection, and we know that we need to be ready. As we shift our focus to 2019, one of our key priorities will be a continued focus on building a resilient system.
We're also focused on meeting our members' needs in new and innovative ways. We will better utilize our data to understand the needs of the system. We will work to ensure you have all the information you need to make empowered energy decisions. We will utilize technology for expanded member choice in how we communicate. One thing we heard from our members in the survey was that some of your highest priorities were to ensure a safe work environment for our employees, as well as attract and retain talented staff. While that has been a priority of ours for some time, we were pleased to see it as a priority of our members as well. Our safety is hard at work, training and implementing programs to keep our employees safe. Excuse me, from personal health and wellness to near-miss analysis, hazards training, to body mechanics. We are committed to investing in safety of our field workers and office staff alike.
We have a renewed focus on developing and retaining employees. You can certainly relate to that when you saw an earlier slide where we have literally half the number of employees as compared to a downtown Anchorage utility. We've got less than half that they do, and we serve 4,000 more miles of line than they do. So we've got increased efforts on recruiting as the work we do to build bench strength of technical expertise and retirements continue and the workforce ages. Simply put, what I tell my staff is I want the best. Another thing we've heard loud and clear from members is your interest in innovation, including alternative energy. We've heard you and are investing in new ways of doing business to meet the changing needs of our members. We will explore rate structures and green power programs to incentivize innovation and provide member choices. MEA is also exploring innovative ways to solve reliability problem areas through microgrids and distributed generation. We want to make it easier for innovative entrepreneurs to serve each of you by streamlining the process for independent power producers to bring their project to our system in a cost-effective way.
This board has been very focused on positioning MEA to make the most of the opportunities ahead. We will continue working together with our neighboring utilities and other stakeholders to define the best ways for us to collaborate. We will work with elected officials and businesses to support economic development. One opportunity doesn't have anything to do with wires or power plants, but instead it involves each of you and the other 51,000 members of MEA. This board wants to work on engaging our members in the benefits of participating in your cooperative. There is a value in member ownership and local control. There is value in being served by a not-for-profit public power cooperative. There is value in member participation. We are stronger because of each of you, and we think this community can be stronger with a strong electric cooperative. We look forward to working with you to make the most of our future. The board is committed to the long-term strength of the cooperative, and there are many opportunities for all of us ahead. Across the country and around the world, the utility industry is evolving, and we want to be prepared to meet our members' needs in new ways. While we look to the future, we must stay grounded in what makes us strong: cost savings, member service, and reliability. Our biggest asset is you, our membership, and this community. We look forward to listening. You make us strong, and we are more powerful together. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to learn about this year's scholarship recipients. Awards will be presented by MEA Scholarship Program Coordinator Sabrina Combs. Scholarship award finalists are listed on the back of your agenda. Sabrina?
Thank you. So a little bit about our scholarship program. In 1990, MEA's Board of Directors created the MEA Scholarship Foundation from unclaimed capital credits. The annual earnings from this fund provide scholarships to MEA members and their graduating high school students and college students. A scholarship committee made up of MEA members from various professions and communities within our service territory then review and select scholarship recipients based on their applications. Scholarship applicants are asked to complete a financial plan and a short essay. These finalists also have a brief interview with our scholarship committee. This year, we received over 84 applications from local students. The choices were extremely difficult to make because we got so many top-notch applicants. The students in our service territory are extraordinary, and it was amazing to read through their applications and hear about their plans for the future. I'd like to recognize our scholarship committee for their hard work and dedication in reviewing this year's applicants. We have a few of them here that will come up when I read their names and help award the scholarships. But the full committee is Danalyn Dalrymple, Sarah Jansen, Terry Kingsley, John Notestein, and Mary Sears. So I think we have a couple of them here tonight, if you guys want to come up. Thank you for volunteering your time, and I'd also like to welcome our Director of External Affairs, Julie Esty, to assist in awarding. All right, I will now call our students up. When you hear your name, please come on up to receive your scholarship. Winning a $2,000 scholarship, Melanie Chafee. Melanie is a student, yes, come on up. Melanie is a student at Eagle River High School and will be attending Colorado State University in the fall. Congratulations to Melanie. We're gonna make them do a big walk across the stage as though they just won in a pageant. She's coming up to shake your guys' hands. Winning a $3,000 scholarship, Madison Ressler. Madison attends Wasilla High School and will be attending Portland State University in the fall, majoring in psychology and minoring in criminology and criminal justice. Congratulations to Madison. And finally, winning a $7,500 scholarship, Shannon Fratty. Shannon is graduating from Colony High School and will be attending Carroll College in Helena, Montana in the fall, majoring in nursing with a minor in biology. Congratulations, Shannon. We are so proud of tonight's winners, and we look forward to following their future endeavors and involvement in our community. Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda is the Charitable Foundation. And the Board of Directors, the MEA Charitable Foundation Board of Directors, are represented here tonight in the front row and are represented on the back of your agenda. Can we please have Barbara Gerard and Vice Chair of MEA Charitable come up at this time? Oh, she's there. Oh, snuck up on me. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Barbara Gerard, and I am the Vice Chair of your Operation Roundup. My job today is to update you on what a great job you are doing, caring for our community through Operation Roundup. Your pennies, given by rounding up your electric bill to the nearest dollar each month, have resulted in $140,000 being distributed through our community. Tonight, I would like to highlight, yes, that's worth a... Tonight, I would like to highlight just a few ways that your pennies and your neighbor's pennies, when put together, make a big impact. We will begin with a short video. This story is just one of many. Let's take a look. This year, your pennies, when rounded up, provided 31 grants to nonprofits and additional grants to individuals in our community, totaling over $140,000. Your pennies have put food on the shelves of food banks. Your pennies have put a dog in the hands of a handicapped child. You've helped homeless youth in our community. Your pennies have made it possible to expand bicycle trails in Chugiak. Your pennies have helped send veterans to Washington, D.C. to be honored. If you go to the MEA website, you will see the complete list of the grants made possible by you by simply rounding up your electric bill to that nearest dollar. Your generosity has made a difference. In closing, I want to thank you, the members of MEA, from all of us at the MEA Charitable Foundation, for giving us this great, great privilege of letting us serve you. I would like to have each of our board members stand. Tom McGregor, Dee Bowens, Sue Smith, Linda Menard, Kelly Sidebottom, sorry Kelly, and David Doms, who could not attend tonight because he's ill, but he is our chair and he is a great leader. We are blessed to have him. And finally, yes, we'll clap for David Doms. And finally, I would like to say thank you to our MEA board members. Each of you have helped support us do our job. And also to the MEA staff. You guys are amazing. We thank you for all of your work behind the scenes to make our Operation Roundup possible. You are the hands and feet behind Operation Roundup, and we thank you. I wish you all a good evening, and thank you for all your pennies. Keep them coming.
Thank you very much. All right, next on the agenda is unfinished business. There is no unfinished business from 2018. Next on the agenda is new business. Now it's time for that. There is no new business to be brought before the body at this time. And if I could have Mr. Izzo join me at the podium. We're going to move on to our prize winners. This year, in an effort to encourage members to vote, any member who cast a ballot in the 2019 election was entered to win a year of free electricity not to exceed 10,000 kilowatt hours. The member's name has been drawn, and we wanted to announce it here for the first time. We aren't sure if this member is present, but if you are, please meet Jennifer at the table directly at the back of the room for your certificate. This year's winner of a year of free electricity not to exceed 10,000 kilowatt hours is Judith and Greg Upton from Wasilla. Are you here? Are you here? Yay, all right, you are here. Outstanding. All right. All right, very good. All right, Tony?
Now what I think most are really been waiting for. At this time, I'd like to announce the door prize winners. And I'm going to ask Director Jones, who's just to my left, to please help me select 2019 door prize winners. If your number is called, please meet Jennifer at the prize table in the back to claim your prize. And Jennifer, where are you? Where is the prize table? Right there, straight back. Sabrina. Okay. And the first number is 891020. What did they win? You won the first prize. It's the 2001 Ford F-250 Super Duty Cab Short Bed Beater Truck, valued at $2,400. Congratulations on that. Now for the prize number 2 is a generator valued at $400. And that ticket, that winner is 890997. In the back, great. Somehow we have to combine the free electricity award with the generator award, I think, in the future. But. Okay, prize number 3 is a gift basket of local goods valued at $100, and that winning ticket number is 89098833. Straight in the back. Congratulations.
All right, thank you, Tony. And congratulations, prize winners. Our election overseer has completed the ballot count and preliminary election results are ready. I would now like to bring up the election committee. Member Diane Tucker to read the preliminary election results.
Members of the co-op, members of the board, and employees. It's my privilege to deliver the results of the 2019 MEA election. Total votes counted, 4,488. Of these, 969, 22%, were electronically submitted. 3,417, 76%, were mailed in, and 102, 2%, were voted on right here today. The vote tallies: Peter Burchell, incumbent, 3,610 votes, 29%. Thank you. Kit Jones, incumbent, 3,233 votes, 26%. Janet Kincaid, incumbent, 2,965 votes, 24%. And Kerry Williams, 2,581 votes, 21%. Certified election results. Thank you. Congratulations.
And thank you, Dan. Yes, and congratulations to the 3 board members. There will be a special meeting held immediately after this annual meeting for the current board to certify the election results. The meeting will take place right here in the Menard Center, in the Susitna room just down the hall to the left as you exit to the left or your right through the front doors. All members are invited. However, I think it's a pretty small room, but you're invited nonetheless. All right. Are there any, our last item on the meeting agenda is member comments. If you wish to be heard, please use the microphones provided. State your first and last names for the record and make your comments, which are limited to 3 minutes. But this is your time now. All right, we have one coming up here. All right.
Thanks for giving me a microphone. I like microphones. My name is Cindy Carnes. And I thought I was going to have a podium so I could read this, but I'll make it really short. I really liked your goals for 2019, and one of them was engaging the members. And one of the things I did this week in preparing for this meeting tonight is to look at the app that we have on our MEA thing. What's it called?
Smart Hub.
Smart Hub. And then somebody from the office sent me to a energy site with an app, and I could rate actually everything in my house and make a plan of how I'm going to be more energy efficient. So I was thinking, wouldn't it be such a great idea to offer incentives for people like us, members, to reduce our electricity use? We can't agree on maybe why we should do it, climate change or renewables or whatever, but we all want to save money. So why not just give us some money, fill out our forms, change our light bulbs. You could hand out free LED light bulbs at meetings like this and reduce all of our energy. The main thing that I want to say is this is all of our energy, and we all should really try to reduce use before we start finding more sources. And I know we can do it, so why not incentivize it? We all got $10, as I understand it, to come to the meeting tonight, $10 off our bill. Why can't we get incentives for organizing? So my last comment I'll read just because I worked on it. No. Oh yeah, so what I want you to do is do some research and find out what is going on around the nation to do energy efficiency stuff, and then come back and say, yeah, this is what we're gonna do, and we'll save all of our energy, and I hope you'll put it into motion as soon as possible. So if you could get that done like next week, that'd be great, right? Call me, I'll help you. All right, Cindy Carnes, Eagle River.
All right, thank you very much, Cindy Carnes.
Ms. Carnes. Yeah, I don't want to deny the applause, sorry. I really appreciate the comments, Ms. Carnes. One of the things that MEA is taking the lead on right now is an effort to do across the rail belt integrated resource planning. And so when the need arises for additional power, the approach that we're going to be taking in the future, subject to regulatory commission approval, will be not only to look at new generation, but to look at conservation as a means by which we meet that target. But thank you for your comments.
All right, sir, state your name and please.
Yeah. My name is Steve Saunier. First, I'd like to thank you for providing us reliable power. My next comment would be I want to challenge everybody in MEA to get behind our Valley Recycling Program. I'm going to take my #1 water bottle and take it home and take it to the recycling center. Can you give me an idea whether MEA currently has a recycling program?
Let's see, off the top of my head, I know we've got recycling bins certainly right outside my office. Okay. So certainly it is something that I believe is important.
Yeah, we recycle general paper, cardboard, #1, #2, and #5 plastic. And any pound of material we can keep out of the landfill is a good thing. So I challenge you to support the recycling program.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. It's interesting that you take number 5, plastic, because even the Anchorage recyclers don't take that. Congratulations. I'll bring some of my stuff here. Go right ahead. Sir?
I'm Darrell Carr from Wasilla, and you gentlemen both talked about hiring good people. I just want to tell you, you've got the best in your DSL service line. When you call that helpline, and I've done it a lot of times, you're going to talk to professional, polite people that are willing to take whatever time it takes to bail a person like me out of trouble. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, yes, for your kind words. Okay, yes. Have another one here?
I'll only take a second, but
State
I
your
want
name,
to
sir.
finish up.
Sir, state your name,
I'm
please.
Jim Hanson.
Thank you.
Just moved down from Nome not too long ago, but I was here for the earthquake. And I want you folks to know that it was unbelievable. Where we live, we never even lost power. And for everybody to be back online in 24 hours, probably 99.9% of all of the world would never be able to match that. So we really want to thank you so much for all that you did to get power back for everybody, and the fact that our power never went off is just phenomenal. So I think we all want to thank you so much for all you do.
Oh. And thank you, sir, for your comment.
I really appreciate the comment, and what's astounding to me is that the vast majority, over 90%, was in 14 hours. Thank you.
All right, any others? Yes, we have one coming. Oh, 2 actually. All right, that's all right, sir. Stand in line. Go ahead, please.
Hi.
Your name?
Yes, my name is Shannon Fratty, and I'd just like to thank the board and the scholarship committee and all the members for the very generous scholarship. So thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you.
And thank you.
My name is William Zeffrey. I live here in Wasilla. I like to take this opportunity and maybe see if you could expand by offering a free service when anyone wants to upgrade their home. The ability to shut off their power. They charge a fee to come out to my house just to shut off the power and turn it back on. And yet now my power is now double, so I'm giving back. But I like to take that opportunity to look at the other businesses such as GCI, MTA, and all them. They come to us, they provide services such as internet. They don't charge a service fee because they're gonna get their income later on. Now, we are into expanding, are we not? So taking that just initiative and maybe improving families' homes, they won't look at that as a burden. Oh, I got another bill to come in when I'm building an addition or new property. So if you could take in consideration the opportunity, the growth, the potential there when offering a simple free service of them turning on and off your power in exchange for, like, saying another fuse box. I mean, it will probably make dividends in the long run, but just that little thing will go a long way as a kind of a thank you. And I just like to thank you for the job too in the earthquake. And Williams, I hope you come next year, because I'll vote for you again. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any other members wish to speak? All right. And with that, I need a motion to adjourn. Anybody provide me with a motion to adjourn? Sue Smith gave us a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Second. All right. Thank you. There's a second. Are there any objections? Hearing none. With that motion, our meeting is concluded. Thank you very much.